What is up, y'all? Death Killer X11 bringing you another tips and things to know for Mass Effect 3. Now, today I will have 11 things to go by. So, let's start off. This is a spoiler alert. I will be going through series spots of the games. It's going to be throughout the entire game. It won't be nothing too major. If I do reveal something, I will announce it beforehand. But, just so you know, as you're going through this video, it will be a part of it. Now, so let's starting off. Number 1, importing your Mass Effect 2 character. As you see here, I've already beat the game on 3, so I can re-import it, but we're not going to do that. We want to see what happens when you import your second character. So all the decisions you have made throughout Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 will come into play in Mass Effect 3. As you see here, I saved the Rachni Queen, rescued Ashley instead of Kaidan, saved the Council, saved Malensdale. As you can see, these are the major events that stayed into play through your selection throughout the previous games. Now, let's see what transfers over into actual gameplay of Mass Effect. Give it a second just to load. There we go. Alright, so it already popped up on the screen, but you get 25,000 credits for transferring your character, importing your character, and you start off at level 30, actually. I already progressed 2 levels in this little playthrough. Just to show you, you can automatically start off halfway through all your levels just from importing your character from Mass Effect 2. That is also if you reach max level in 2. But it is pretty simple to do so, and so I immediately have plenty of abilities to use, especially if you play on the Insanity difficulty, which I did throughout the entire playthrough. So it is a very good choice to import and not start off new. Now, if you made bad decisions, you really didn't like it in 1 and 2, you can start a new character, and it gives you the option to kind of fill in the blanks. But this is the better option to always import your character. So, all your decisions, like I said, will now be affected in Mass Effect 3. And let's see, which one is it? This one. That ain't it. Give me a second, let me find the right character. There we go. Alright, so any choices you've made throughout the game will now impact number 3. Such as if you decide not to punch a certain interviewer, she will now become your ally. She has very little bit of credit. Let's see if I can find her. Oh, there we go. So I decided not to punch her through any of the interviews, and she gives me 10, asset bonus. Which is not much, but it is what it is. I'm not entirely sure what you get if you decide to just deck her in the face, but I would decide not to. As you can see, I helped make sure that the Zoo Hope's colonists stayed alive. They immediately give me an asset bonus. I made sure all my characters from 2 survived the suicide mission, and if you do it correctly, they carry over into this one. Such as, I made sure Rex stayed alive in number 1, so I get to get him again. Get Grunt again, because I made sure he's alive. Let's see if I can find any more. Oh yeah, also for Mass Effect 1, if you do certain things in that game, this person stays alive, and it becomes a bonus to your assets. It's not a much bonus, but, he's a badass, but fuck the Solarians. I don't think any Turians carry over. Quarian. Oh yeah, Quarians and Geth. Depending on what you chose to do in Mass Effect 2 will impact who has a better asset score, the Quarians or the Geth. Now, if you chose one or the other, it should not really change the difference, but that's about what it equals out to either way. Let's see here again. Keeps certain people alive. I think it was this guy. Yes, this guy. So in a certain DLC, in number 2, if you decide not to deck this dude, he becomes an asset as well. Again, ain't that much, but it is an asset either way. So everything does carry over into your final playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy, which is number 3, which is always pretty good. A lot of it is really good. Certain characters, if they die, they die. They will not be in here. Some characters, for instance, Kelly Chambers is in 2. She is your little computer aid lady. I forgot her actual job description, but if you make sure she stays alive in 2, she carries over to 3. But in 3, she can die before she gives you any kind of asset aid, depending on your selections. You have to tell her that she needs to change her name, and she'll stay alive. If you don't tell her to change her name during that dialogue option, she will die and she will be gone. Alright, number 2, missable missions. Now, there is a couple missable missions that you have to do beforehand. Let's load it up. Just check it. Pretty much the rule of thumb is try and do everything else before you do the actual story missions, the priority missions. It would start at the bottom. Basically, they're right here. Priority to Chunka. You want to attempt to do everything before you do the next priority mission that you can do. Some things are not available until afterwards, but that's okay. You want to make sure you try and do everything. Now, for the priority to Chunka, a lot of missions have to be done before you do this actual main story mission. If you don't do it, a lot of them will become missable. You can't do it. You'll just miss the assets. You'll miss the quest or mission. It's gone forever. But now, the ones that are really time sensitive are going to be your Grism Academy. As soon as you get the mission for this, you need to immediately do it. I think you have like a mission or 2 later. If you don't immediately do it, it would just fail, and you'll get some bad news. You'll no longer have Jack available, and the students will kind of be, tortured by Cerberus, so to speak. So as soon as you get it, you need to immediately do it. Another example is going to be Tachanka Bomb. It is originally Tachanka Turian Squad, I believe. And once you do it, it'll progress to Bomb. It is also a time-sensitive mission. You have to do it before you do anything else, because it will immediately go away. You'll miss it, and you'll pretty much lock yourself out of that whole scenario for doing it. Let's see here. I think there's 2 more really missable missions. Pretty sure. Oh, yeah, here we go. Alright, after you do the mission Priority Geth Dreadnought, this is when you're dealing with the Quarians, you'll immediately get 2. I think it's these ones. Yeah, it's these ones right here. You'll get these 2 missions immediately after doing that priority mission. You have to do these 2 before you progress with the actual priority knock mission, because these are missable. As soon as you get it, you can do one or the other, first or second. That order does not particularly matter, but you do have to do them before you continue on the main priority mission. Otherwise, you miss it. You'll miss disabling the Geth fighters, which, spoiler, it will automatically cut you out from getting some Geth primes as some assets. And Geth primes are pretty badass, and you will also lose Admiral Chorus if you don't immediately do this mission. He is a Quarian Admiral. It is a good asset just to have him. Alright, let's see here. I think that was it for the missions themselves. Again, those are the only ones you have to immediately do. Everything else kind of just needs to be completed before Tachanka, a priority Tachanka. Everything else kind of just falls into place. If you do that, you shouldn't miss too many, so it's pretty good that way. Alright, let's see here. Alright, number 3, missed items. There are several items throughout the missions that you got to pick up, like kind of retrieve and return kind of missions. See if I can find a decent one right here. Nope. Okay, right here. I do believe this one here is just a retrieve and return mission. You can randomly find this scanning planets, or maybe it's this one. I don't know. Either way, the same concept applies. You find it, you return it to the guy, you get a small asset. Some of these things are actually located in missions themselves. So if you complete that mission, you can't go back to that area. So you need to try and be thorough with whatever you're trying to look for. They are, I would say real obvious, but they kind of do stick out and whenever you're in a mission area. So it shouldn't be too hard to find them. But there is good news. Just in case you do miss something, the game has your back. In the event that you're pretty sure you've scanned every planet that you could, you found all the assets you could, but for some reason you just can't turn in a mission. Either one or two things can happen. One, you missed that item, or two, it's not available yet. I was pretty thorough, but I did miss a few. Unfortunately, I do not have an actual visual representation of me missing one, because I always bought it, immediately turned it in. I just never saved before that. But this is a good example. These items right here, these three are items that I missed on a mission that I can no longer go back to. So when you missed an item, they will automatically appear in the Spectre Requisitions terminal, and you can buy it for a small fee. I believe it's like $1,000 for mission missed items. So it's a small fee you have to pay in order to turn in the mission and complete it. So it is pretty good. This also applies to weapon upgrades. There is so many. In your first playthrough, you can only upgrade an item 5 times. So you can extend the ammo capacity of your weapon up to level 5. Now, that ammo capacity upgrade is generated on, let's say, 5 different planets. A, B, C, D, and E. If you happen to miss an item on that planet where a mission was and you can no longer go back to it, you don't necessarily lose that upgrade. You can always purchase it from another store, and just the other 4 locations will still spawn that item. Now let's say you went ahead and purchased everything you can find. It will despawn that item from those planets in which order that you go to. So basically, if you go to planet B first, that item will still be there. Go to planet A next, and then C next, those items will still be there. But since you already bought the ammo upgrade twice, it will not spawn on planet D and E. It seems a little bit confusing, but the game makes it to where you will only find 5, whether you find them in a mission or whether you purchase them in one of the stores available in this game. So you'll never find more than you have to, so you won't really miss it. There is a lot of them I didn't really find, so I just bought them through the stores anyways, and that just automatically despawned them, which is not a big deal. So it all works out. But again, if you think you missed an item, come to Spectre Requisitions and you can buy it for a small fee. And there you go. Now, it's pretty simple. If I need to explain that a little bit better, let me know. It's best I could muster up, I guess. But either way, let's go to the next one. Number 4. This will be avoiding the Reapers and getting your assets out in space. It may not seem immediate, apparent, or obvious how to do these kind of things, but it's really simple. Right here, I'm at the very beginning of the game. I'm going to go to this random area that I've yet to explore and show you how to scan for items. One thing you can do, as soon as you get here, immediately just save it and just scan like crazy till you figure out where everything's at. And just reload the save, you can go right to it, scan it, and the Reapers will never spawn. I'm going to show you it's okay if the Reapers spawn, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to scan, doesn't really matter. I'm going to let the Reapers appear. There we go. Ominous noise, the Reapers are here. Alright, so about the first 5 seconds, you are faster than the Reaper ship. After that, they gain momentum very quickly, so you immediately need to bug out. Either exit the nebula area, or immediately get into the mass relay and fly away.
Reapers eluded.
They pick up really fast, as you see. Now, every time you re-enter the system, you will come on a different location. So that gives you the ability to immediately rush to your asset without them having a chance to catch up to you. Came here, start scanner, find whatever it is. Boom, just like that. Alright, so back out of there. That's 50% asset recovery. That means there's one more somewhere. There it is.
Evasion successful.
See, they got onto me real quick and I was able to evade them. Now, if you see, I started off way over here. So that would immediately put me at a disadvantage for collecting my item that was halfway across the system.
Eluded.
So you can immediately just exit out, come back in. New location, right there beside it. Now, if you can see, the Reapers are still going. As you click on a planet, they still travel towards you for like a whole second. And then when you spawn back into your system, you're starting off slow, they're starting off quick.
Reapers eluded.
So you need to time it or plan it accordingly so you don't get caught. Now, if you see an asset that's stuck in the middle of space, like it's not on a planet or icon, it will always be fuel. So if you need to, you can plan accordingly. For instance, like we're about to travel across this nebula right here. So I initially would have saved that fuel asset so I can replenish my fuel.
Confirmed.
See, this is going to be fuel. There we go. There we go. Now there's a few things where it is just credits, your 10,000 credits, which won't make a much of a difference at the moment. But I did recover everything. Go back to the nebula, and it says 100% assets recovered. So you would technically be done with trying to find things in this area. A good idea is to go ahead and scan everything first, and then do your mission. That way, you know that this mission item that I needed for this random guy, it's probably going to be inside an actual mission where I'm moving around and got to find it. That's pretty simple like that either way. Oh, exit. Oh, I guess not. I guess you can't exit when the Reapers are after you. I actually didn't know that. Kind of makes sense. So we're just going to fast travel away real quick. Yep, so that was the problem. Alright, number 5. Let's get to it real quick. This is going to be different enemy types you're going to see in Mass Effect 3. Primarily, it's just going to be Cerberus and the Reapers that you're going to be facing. Now, I did bump down the difficulty for this just to show you the different enemies you're going to be facing for Reapers, which would be the main bulk of them. Let's see here. I think it is done by now. Yeah, I did put it all the way down. Okay. So don't worry about this right now. We will come back to this spot, but I'm just showing you a few enemy types just so you're kind of aware. Especially when you're playing on Insanity, which I did legitimately throughout the entire series. In 2 and 3, especially in 3, it is very important that you would have allies, your squad mates, have abilities that completely counteract the enemies you're about to face. Now, a lot of the Reaper forces are generated around the armor and just health. There's a few obviously that have bearers and shields, but the main bulk of it is going to be armor, I do believe.
3, 2, 1. Round 1.
Alright, you got your Marauders, which are shields, which ain't that bad at all. Ravengers, they're going to be all armor. You just explode their little plus sockets. You got your Brutes, they're all armor when you do face them in the real actual gameplay. As long as you focus fire, especially with fire type abilities, there's not much you can't take down with them. They usually spawn pretty far off, so you have a good moment to just, really hammer down on them before they do anything to you.
Round 1 is over.
Let's see here. It will not show the Harvester in this battle arena, but it will show. What do I call it? It will show the Banshees. There we go. They are the Asari Reapers. In game, they are probably the most pain in the ass enemy I'm aware of. Because honestly, even on Insanity, I can knock down a Brute pretty quick. So I am a soldier, so I instantly have incinerating ammo, so it really devastates the Brutes in the actual in-game. Alright, this next one will spawn our beloved Banshee.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final round. 3.
There it is. Alright, so she is barrier. She does come with a barrier, an actual barrier, and she does come with armor. There are several abilities that do great damage to a barrier. You want to make sure you are ready for that.
5.
Because anything else against a barrier is pretty actually resistant. Because throughout the actual gameplay, especially at the very end part, these Banshees are devastating. You do want to be prepared for them. The Marauders, even with their shields, don't really affect anything. They ain't that bad at all. Max score, yeah. Alright, so the other type of enemy is Cerberus. I'm not going to show them too much because they are, I think, a lot easier for the most part. It's a simple concept. The humans do headshots. Get your... I don't know what they're called. But you got your regular armed force guys, you got the commandos, they have shields. And you actually have the guys that have the shields. You need to either shoot their feet, or you gotta shoot through a little, eye peephole crack in order to actually get to them. Let's see here. See if it actually tells me who they are. Cerberus. Nah, I don't say. Alright, I forget the name, but there's snipers right there. The snipers are really accurate. I mean, they're pretty deadly for what they do. And you have these little assassin bastards. I think they're called phantoms. They pretty much teleport in, invis, slash you with a sword, teleport away. When you fight fucking Kylo, I forgot his name. The new special agent that Cerberus has, when you fight him in the actual climax of his battle, he has a few of those phantoms that come with you, and on Insanity, they instantly destroy you. They are barriers and shield. They are barrier and health. I don't know. You know what? Either way. They are a pain in the butt. Be ready for them. If you're playing on anything less than Insanity, they ain't that bad. But you really need to be, ability focused when you go against enemies like this. Because it's hard. It really is. There's certain parts in the game where I weren't properly prepared like I thought I was, and it was just devastating. Died multiple times, ready to control this controller. Just, the general shit. Alright, I believe this is number 6. Where am I at? Oh, I remember now. All right, your charisma. Your charisma works a little bit differently from 1 and 2 than it does in this one. You have a single meter which combines both your Paragon and Renegade at the same time. So you can, it's really easy to max out. There is currently no glitches or cheats I'm aware of to max it out really early. But I'm probably halfway through in the game, maybe a little bit further at this point. And I've already maxed out. I've maxed out my level, maxed out my charisma. It's really not that hard in this game to actually max it out. There's a lot of opportunities. Alright, so just because you pick a Renegade option or a Paragon option does not mean you will lose or gain that particular character's asset. So if the Renegade option pops up, you can pick it, and you can still go along with it. They'll still be on your side. They'll still give you the asset, the support, whatever you need. So feel free to click away as you want or pick what you want. The red and blue dialogue options that you get will yield basically the same result. Basically, you'll get your way if you're able to click one of those options. It might be a little bit more badass the way you do it. It might be more of an understanding way that you do it. But at the end, picking the red or blue dialogue will get you the results ultimately that you want. Now, the white dialogue options up and down, which you would initially believe Paragon, Renegade, can have, different results. In this particular scenario, it does not matter what you pick.
I understand you wasted your chance to withdraw safely.
But doing this way will turn up the Renegade option.
Admiral, you
Deck this dude in the gut
because
because he's the dick
Get the hell
and
off
he's
my ship.
fucking stir crazy.
Shepard,
But even though I did that, the Quarians and all their assets will come to be on my side the way I played through this game.
you must understand.
Just because I did that, don't think I'm automatically out on the Quarians.
This is a fascinating prototype. With some study, I may be able
Skipping all this dialogue just to show you.
Get consensus. So did your pistol. Should I worry about it?
I don't think you want to continue this line of thought, Admiral.
So I basically
Legion's
told her
my
to
friend.
stop in a
More
nice
importantly,
way,
it's our best source
so I
of
did not
information
lose
on
her.
Cant.
The
But I
scientific
do believe you should
benefit-
lose a small
Are
asset
off the table.
by doing this.
What can you
Actually,
tell us
no, you
about
don't.
the
I told you wrong. I'm sorry.
How
You
will
did not
you
lose any
react
asset.
The gifts.
Correct.
But it does not really matter if you
We
do
need
those
to take
options.
out
Feel
the-
free to
no.
click away.
Fine.
Alright, so as I was talking about earlier, I immediately got done with the Geth
Edie, can you
Dreadnought,
clean this up.
I will try.
and these missions will pop up. See right there? I'm not Admiral Curtis. I'm talking to this guy who's about to get the mission updating briefing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's over. There we go. See, as I was saying, just finished the Geth Dreadnought, and these two missions become available. As I was saying, you immediately have to do these missions before you do this one. If you do not, they will no longer be available, and they will fail, and that will be it for it. Just to show you right here. But there you go. Again, charisma doesn't really matter. Just build it up there, and you are good to go. It was full, so I've had every option I'm aware of for both the blue and red, Renegade and Paragon, anytime that was available to choose. So I think if you at least get one or the other to one segment and then max it out, it works out. Because technically the Renegade is not 2 segments, it's only one, like 1 and like 8/10. I was still able to do all the Renegade options. Like it always popped up right under blue without any problem. So, that ain't too bad for that. Alright, on to the next one, number 7. Let's see, this is talking about buying stuff. Let me get to it. Alright, so throughout this entire game, credits are kind of limited. Not so much that you need to, save every penny, but so much, especially at the Spectre Requisitions Terminal, you honestly can't pick out multiple items without going bankrupt pretty quick. Now, you can save up over time and pick what you want, but it does get pretty costly. Your weapon upgrades. It is not that expensive, so if you immediately have a weapon you like, upgrade it as soon as you can. Versus the credits you're going to get throughout the game, it is a very minor expense to immediately just start upgrading the weapons that you like. Alright? Even when you get down to the more expensive ones, if you have it, I would immediately try and buy it. Let's go to the 5,000. It does get a little bit expensive, but it is worth it, and you do get enough credits to easily compensate your losses for buying this. So it wasn't that bad. Now, I have bought through everything through every store. So you do get enough credits throughout the entire game to literally buy out every store and have plenty left over. The only exception is a Spectre Requisitions Terminal, which has special weapons that you can buy. As you can see, they're really hefty and expensive. They're a little bit more expensive because I'm not using their direct terminal to buy the stuff. But you do get enough to pretty much buy everything except this stuff in the game in one playthrough. In order to buy all this too at the same time, you have to do either a lot of farming or at least do a whole nother playthrough to get it. So I think if you import your Mass Effect 3 character into your Mass Effect character, I think you get like 500,000. Could be wrong, but it is something with a 5. It is quite a bit though. Now, there is a way to actually farm credits, which is actually very reliable. Well, pretty reliable. And it takes about 2.5 minutes max once you get the hang of it. So this is part of the DLC. You can unlock the Citadel or Shore Leave. And this is this is the end game part of this DLC, so you're not going to see too much. So you come to the arena, you beat the arena, do certain requests for these people, and then you eventually unlock certain tokens you can buy upgrades for. For instance, like a silver token does it where you can apply a modifier where you can't use metagel, and it gives your character a 10% bonus in score multiplier. Yep, something like that. So, once you get all that, get all the multipliers that you can, apply them all. Do not apply the player damage boost because it gives you negative 10%. So, apply them all, you get 60%. Pick any characters you want. I always pick foot soldiers. I always do reapers because it's always a guaranteed. And it doesn't what map you pick. Okay? Save and exit. Once you beat the game and you get the achievement for doing it on Insanity, immediately bump it down to Narrative difficulty. It makes it substantially easier and you still get your credits the way you want it. So there's no reason for you to try and spend 10 minutes doing this mission and you get the same results with absolutely no benefit for doing it on Insanity. I mean, if you want to, you do you kind of thing, but it's really pointless. So, lower difficulty, set it up perfectly. And you're going to do this right here.
4, 3, 2, 1. Starting round 1. Kill streak. 3.
Alright, you want to attempt to kill him as fast as you can. If you have it on a low difficulty, it honestly doesn't matter what weapon you use, you should pretty much just slice through them like butter.
Round 1 is over.
Alright, make sure you grab the bonus points as they pop up. They always spawn in the same location per area.
1. Round 2.
Oh my gosh.
Kill streak. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I like picking both of the
9.
Rex and Grunt because they like to get up and personal and they almost immediately kill someone. They don't stay back and just kind of see what happens kind of thing. So that really helps them, get going.
5,
But again, you can pick whoever you want, whoever you like. At this point, it doesn't really
Final
matter.
round. Kill streak.
Alright, so again, make sure you're killing them as fast as possible next to each other. Try and get it like a killing spree.
7, 8, 9.
Because what that does is increase your score.
Kill streak. The match goes to Shepard.
There we go. So I won. That's my base score. And then once I actually do it, the modifier is going to kick in.
Brought to you by the Citadel
My actual score is now 656.
Experience history.
That will pretty much be the always same score, doing the exact same thing. So, loading up the game, actually doing this little arena, and just restarting again takes about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That is definitely the fastest way and the only way to farm credits in this game. So each time you do that, you'll get a gold prize arena token. You can come over here and cash it in for 10,000 credits. Now it's not that much, but it's pretty quick to do it. That's all there is to it. So you would just, as soon as you spawn back out from the arena, go back in, do it again, and you should just accumulate gold tokens really easy. That's probably that way. There's enough enemies facing the Reapers that you'll always get pretty much that same score, which is 6656. It's really simple to do. That's pretty much the only way to actually farm credits if you really just want to buy everything in the game. Alright, so next one. I believe this is number 8. Yep. When to do the DLCs that are included in this game. I would recommend doing all the DLCs as soon as they spawn up, except for Shore Leave. The DLCs are really fun. They're fun to play. They're great to do. See, Omega is taking back Omega with Aria, and it was fun. But it's it's a committed DLC, so that means once you start it, you're there until you finish it. But it's still really fun. This one right here, you get to find the original inhabitants of this galaxy that made the Reapers, the Leviathans, or we call them Leviathans. It's really fun to do. From the Ashes, when I don't know, I forgot which it is. Basically, you go back to, I think, Eden Prime, and you can get a Javik. He's a Promethean back from his time. He was in Cryo, and you can get him. That's a really cool little mission. I think there was one more DLC. No, maybe not. Maybe it was just a 4. Either way. Alright, so I recommend doing Shore Leave DLC, the Citadel DLC, either towards the very end after you beat the game, or after you do the Quarian questline. If you do that, Tally will be involved in the DLC. You get all her dialogue, stuff like that. It makes it a little bit more interesting. But I believe the creators originally did it for like this is the end of the game, kind of really nostalgic kind of effect. This is it kind of thing. So I would recommend it. Do it after you beat the game. Just kind of give you one last bang through the game. You get to talk to everyone one more time, kind of thing. But you can do it. You can honestly do it whenever. If you immediately want to get the credits and do all this mission, you can immediately do it. That's fine. There's apparently just a few little dialogue options you'll miss or you won't see or hear. So it's not really a do or die kind of thing, but it is good just to do it as a finale to the game itself. But it is fun to do. It's enjoy a lot of cool and nostalgic, good feels kind of moments. Well, it is what it is. All right, number 9. All right, using your powers. There is combinations, primers, and detonators you can use just like in Mass Effect 2 that you can now use in Mass Effect 3. Let's get that real quick. Got those two. Yep. So, certain abilities are primers, certain abilities are detonators, and some abilities are both primers and detonators. basically what that means is if you hit an enemy with one of these primer abilities, it will set them up to do some really heavy damage. Let's see here. So basically some things you can do. If you instantly hit an enemy with Dark Channel, which is one of Javic's abilities, then hit them with a concussion grenade, a concussion shot, they will do an extra explosion. What it does is do like a good extra damage explosion, does a little bit of AoE. I mean, it's really good to go, you know. When you're playing on Insanity, doing these kind of combos is almost imperative and really important to do, because it becomes really problematic when these guys are just decimated. So let's get this brute right here. Alright, he's glowing. He has some kind of a status on him. Oh. He's not doing it. He's not done. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so I use Carnage instead, then use Concussive Shot. If you were listening, you heard like a really distinct extra explosion, kind of high-pitched explosion. That is when you did a combo, and that's when it's activated. Do it again. He's on fire, so to speak. Oh, that was that. Okay, now I can't do it again. Either way. So, it's really good to get your primers going, get your detonators going, these extra explosions. There's 4 types. You have your biotic combos. I'm trying to die while I look at this. Got your crowd explosions, text burst. And I already said fire explosion. I already set them off. Either way. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I already set them off. Basically, as you think, you prime it with a biotic thing. You prime it with cryo abilities, with pretty much incinerate abilities, and then you detonate it, and you give that respective kind of explosion. It does really good damage. It's really good to invest in, try and find good combinations that works with you the best, and it really decimates the field of your enemies. It's damn near imperative to learn them. If you need me to, let me know in the comments below the combinations I found out that actually do work, and I can get them going as through your playthrough. There it goes. If you do that, just let me know. Yep, there we go. They're exploding. Basically, if you see an enemy with some kind of aurora around them, like they're glowing or some shit, that means they're set up with a primer. You can hit them again. Alright, so let's go on to number 10. Alright, your ending assets. Your ending assets will determine how you can end the game. There is 4 possible endings to this game. Alright? So, this is some major spoilers right here. This is all in-game content right here. Alright, so if you don't want to hear about this is pretty much more or less the end of the video. Go ahead and cut yourself off. But if you're curious to find out what happens, stick around. You're about to find out. So, there's 4 things you can do. 1, you can destroy the Reapers. You can take control of the Reapers. You can sensitize everyone. Or you can completely ignore it and just let the Reapers destroy everyone. If you let the Reapers destroy everyone, it's not really an option, but you can do it. So it's more of just a game over and you try again. But depending on your total military strength, your total asset strength determines what you can do. From your minimum up to I think like 2,800 or something, you can only destroy the Reapers. If you get up to 4,000, you can control the Reapers, control or destroy. If you get up to, I believe it's 8,000, you can then do the synthesis option, which is, combine organics and synthetics together and everyone lives in harmony. The synthesis is definitely the best ending to this game, so to speak, because the way it ends out. But you can honestly pick wherever you want. I do believe, canonically, that the destruction of the Reapers is what's going to be carried on to Mass Effect 4 when it releases. But there is also a secret ending, I do believe you have to be at 8,000 or above when you beat the game. So right here, I've done everything except go back to Earth to save it in the game. So it's literally the final mission. And you see I'm over 8,000. At this point in the game, you go through it, you would decide to destroy the Reapers. You decide to destroy them, you go through the little cutscene, and then there's a small clip when you see Shepard and his destroyed armor and his N7 dog tags, where he takes a breath. Like you instantly got woken up, like in a shock, woke up, and he took a breath. So he actually lives. So that secret play ending, Shepard does actually live. But I do believe it's it may not be 8,000, but I do know it is really high that your numbers have to be in order to actually get that little cutscene. But if you've made enemies throughout your entire game, it's going to be hard for you to get your assets that high. Or if you just let everyone die kind of thing. I played to pretty much, get everyone on my side, keep everyone alive. Hey, we're going to do it my way because, I'm trying to save the galaxy. You're just trying to be a dickhole. But so that's how I got that high. Don't know if there's an actual limit or how high you can actually get. That's the way to do it. Those are 4 endings, with one being technically a secret. But that's how it is. If you don't like how you do it, you'll have to either replay 1 and 2, or do 3 from scratch in order to get your assets pretty high like that. But either way, that would be 10 tips and things to know about Mass Effect 3. If you have any questions, definitely let me know down below. Whatever it is, and I will do my absolute best to figure it out or answer it if I don't already know the answer. Again, if you like it, give me a like. If you'd like to see more of this content, subscribe, let me know. But either way, thanks for watching. I will see y'all on the next time I come to you.